A little extra music, all right? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the real, live, in-person Bacon Academy. My name is Matthew Peel, and I'm the very proud principal of the class of 2021. Pandemic or no pandemic, we celebrate the amazing accomplishments of these graduates and dream about what their contributions to the world will be from this point on. Before we begin, I must acknowledge many special people. First, the class of 1971, who couldn't join us in person to honor the 50th anniversary of their graduation. They are with us in spirit, and I bet some of them are watching the live stream. I would also like to thank, on behalf of the seniors, all of the parents who have worked tirelessly on Project Graduation to put on a great senior picnic and fabulous after party. You guys will have a great time. Thank you. Thank you to Superintendent Jeffrey Burt and Director of Teaching and Learning Dr. Charlie Hughes for successfully leading our district through this crazy year. And thank you to the Board of Education Chairman Mary Tomasi and the entire Board of Education for their countless hours of volunteer service to our children and families. Also, we would not be in this glorious position right now without the dedication and guidance of Mrs. Begay and Mrs. Sear. Managing an entire high school through a pandemic is not smooth or easy. They just make it look that way. Many of our seniors will not be able to walk by a box of Bigelow tea bags without feeling nostalgic, thanks to tea with Mrs. C. Thank you to the class of 2021 advisor, Mr. Mao. What more can be said than has already been said? Well done, Mr. Mao. Bacon Academy will be losing several members of the family this year, but two losses will be especially deep. One is the amazing Mrs. Van Zander. You clap because probably most of you know her. The mother of Bacon Academy, if you will, who took care of every child and every adult at BA for many years. The other is the incomparable Mr. Jewell. Who had a legendary career whose impact will be felt for generations. I find myself quoting him several times this week when people told me, hey, good luck with graduation. And my response to them was, it's not about luck, it's about preparation. Finally, this event would not be as wonderful as it is in such a time crunch without the meticulous planning and hard work of Susan McKiernan, Marlene Bloomberger, our dedicated custodial crew, and countless other individuals who helped me pull this off, with high-quality live streaming, no less. We are joined here today on the precipice of a new dawn in many ways. Today is the first time ever that Juneteenth is an official federal holiday, finally acknowledging in a formal way the long overdue end of slavery in the United States as of 1863. It also feels like we will soon be free from the oppressive effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Handshakes, hugs, and sitting next to each other can happen again very soon. Living digitally and at a distance for the past year has taught us how to use technology to leverage new opportunities to live and work more efficiently. It has also eroded our basic skills of social interaction and connection. COVID has shown the damaging effects of social isolation. So let's take this as a do-over. Get outside, see people, put the phone down, and live life. It's going to feel so good to sit at a restaurant, go to a concert, go to college, or just stand in line without a 6-foot bubble. Don't take it for granted. The last dawn is love and understanding. You, are the youth that is insisting that there is no place for racism, bigotry, hatred, and ignorance. You are more accepting of people regardless of skin color, sexual orientation or preference, or disability. Continue that work, and our world will be a better place. Whether you are attending classes at college or playing Rocket League with your friends, inside joke, treat people with respect and love. You can never go wrong by doing that. You have persevered through the toughest senior year in history. Since you are sitting here, that means you met every expectation we held you to, despite distance learning, a hybrid schedule, and countless Google Meets. Some of you may have faltered with your attendance just a bit, but that will be an issue for your future boss to deal with. As teenagers, you showed more gumption and grit than many adults throughout this ordeal. You are awesome. You have made me a very proud principal. Thank you.
I would like to welcome up on stage Angelina Ambrosia and Brandon Cicero, future members of the United States Armed Forces, to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to begin by thanking you all for your time. I appreciate both the opportunity to be up here and the guidance many of you provided along my journey to this platform. I cannot thank you enough. Early my sophomore year, while sitting in English class, my friend and fellow graduate, Paul Perkins, introduced me to something seemingly insignificant. We were gabbing on about nonsense, practicing our English skills, when all of a sudden his lips stopped and turned into a mischievous grin. Caught off guard, I halted the flow of the chatter pouring from my mouth and looked back at him inquisitively. "What?" I had asked. "The game," he responded. And that's when the game became a permanent part of my life. Although I know many of you are familiar with the game, there are some of you out there who are not, so let me please briefly explain. The game is very simple. The rules are as follows. If you think about the game, you lose. Once you know of it, you begin playing, but the entire premise of the game is to forget about the game. If your oblivion streak is ruined, if you are in any way reminded of the game, you have lost. That's it. Nothing much to it, at first. With the basic rules of the game comes a bit more. It is tradition in the game that if one streak of forgetfulness is ruined, it must be ruined for all. This unspoken rule states that if you lose, so must everyone else. Whether this be the idea of it popping from the depths of your mind with none but subliminal reason, or that some evil acquaintance uttered the forbidden 2 words during English class, after losing, you are obliged by the game law to ruin it for as many participants within reach. And that is the entirety of the game. Now, of course, I can see that the game just sounds like something stupid to get us teenagers through high school, but it really became much more to me. To start, I cannot explain how fun it really was. 2 little words and a monotonous conversation would become exuberant and heated. Eyes slowly succumbing to sleep above a desk would shoot open, flash around searching for the menacing source. The straight face of boredom would flicker to anger, to lighthearted disapproval, to humor. Sneaking the game into existence with every opportunity, breaching one's happiness with something so simple, for the gag, the chuckle, the grin. It truly was just so fun, just as pestering a brother may be. More seriously though, the game brought quite the expanse of wisdom. That unwritten rule, streak ruined for one, ruined for all, had me pushing my own social boundaries. I've never been one to reach out to people easily, but with the game, nothing held me back. Numerous times I veered from my typical hallway path to stop a fellow player's progress. I reached out to others via Snapchat, people I could never even convince myself to say hi to for the sole purpose of the simplicit obligation. And I know for a fact that those same people, of which I was too afraid to speak to without reason, would message me solely to ruin the game. It became a way to interact with the people I walked the halls with, but never spoke to. It connected so many people, but it did so secretly. You never really knew who was playing the game, who knew about it, or who was winning, or who would react most hilariously if provoked by demolition of their streak. That is, unless you spoke of it. Unless you reached out and started a conversation about it, the game stayed buried. Its fun practically non-existent. If I hadn't entered chemistry one day to find out that Nick and Nick knew of it, I wouldn't have retained such a smile through endless discussion of atomic bonds, all because I wouldn't have entered class every day shouting, "The game." I wouldn't have seen them shake their heads, and I wouldn't have seen them laugh. The best part of the game was uncovering its presence in other people's lives. Conversation was necessary to obtain the excitement, and this precisely is what I learned most about the game, that we need to talk. We need to reach out to people, and we need to get to know one another. You need that first word or sentence to ultimately gain any sort of relationship. And like participation in the game, you never know what you might discover in another person. If you find the courage to start a conversation, you may uncover that you are connected to others through means you wouldn't have otherwise imagined. It's ancient, the idea behind group therapy, the inspiration for our own creative writing course. Through conversation, you may find that you are not alone in a situation that you thought you really were. It is easy to fear or forget to put yourself out there. It is easy to only talk to your 3 best friends you've known since 5th grade. Trust me, I know. But you cannot let that silence you and hold you back from getting to know the people all around. Particularly now, when our words have been literally blocked from the air of others for over a year, when late-night texting has stolen the place of late-night phone calls, and virtual posts have become our primary orators of opinion, we must make an additional effort to speak. You will be surprised what little connections we all have, how intertwined and similar the lives of one strangers can be to yours. I would like you all to think about this, think about how a lifelong friendship could bud from discovering one small connection, and recognize that these minute connections are everywhere, and that you are never actually alone. Especially because each and every one of you out there have each other to turn to as we are now one. Of course, yes, this is because we are forever a part of the Bacon Academy class of 2021. Congrats on that, by the way. Yeah, that does forever connect us, but because of what I've said here today, you are all now connected by one little thing, one hidden secret that will forever be a part of your lives. Something that you'll always have to talk to one another about. Can you think of it? Well, just in case you forgot, let me remind you of the game. Thank you. What a moving speech, actually. That almost brought me to tears as well. Good morning. As a senior itching to graduate, I would frequently repeat to my friends and family how I cannot wait to get as far away as possible from little old Colchester, leave Connecticut, and explore the rest of the world, as I'm sure many of my peers can relate to. Sometimes it's easy to see the downfalls to this town. The hostile Facebook page, All Things Colchester, the millions of Dunkin' Donuts and pizza restaurants, the absence of a Panera, Dairy Queen, or Chipotle. We always have to drive to Glastonbury. But when I think about what I value here, the overwhelming sense of community and its place as home in my heart will forever be more valuable than any shopping mall could be. Here at Bacon Academy, we all have our labels. Jocks, cheerleaders, AP Bio kids, and nerds. And after we graduate, we may not remain teachers' pets or most popular as new priorities emerge. The categories will always remain in our society that we inevitably fall into. Sometimes we choose these tribes, but sometimes our tribe chooses us. It's those groups that we didn't voluntarily join, those that we may not even recognize we are part of, the ones we take for granted, that are sometimes the most important and under-recognized. When I take a step back to think of those people in my life who I appreciate, I realize my tribe is not only my family and close friends, but it extends to the whole dedicated, loyal, and kind community of Colchester. Last October, I had a virtual information session for Lafayette College. As I started to tune out the voice that was droning the same information I had heard at all of my other tours, I was caught off guard as the Dean of Admissions called me out. He said, "Shannon, I just noticed you're from Colchester, Connecticut, and I just had to say something. I go there every Thanksgiving to visit my wife's family. It's such a great place. I love that town." Love that town, I thought. Nevertheless, it was a remarkable coincidence. And as I told him, who grew up in Colchester, what he said in his last name, I somehow was not surprised as she blurted, "Oh my God, Liveron! I used to babysit for Gigi Liveron's kids." Situations similar to this one have occurred countless times in my life, but for the first time, I started to appreciate the intergenerational ties within this community, rather than just dismissing it with an eye roll. Maybe it is special how my mom had some of the same teachers I had, how people choose to live here for their whole lives, and how parents come here to raise families. On the surface, there might not seem to be anything special about Colchester. But when I take a look at those who live here, the connections people have, and the traditions that last for generations, I start to feel a lot more proud to call this place my home. I find the slogan on the signs that greet drivers on the edges of our town so fitting. Colchester, where tradition meets tomorrow. Colchester is centered around meaningful tradition. The farmers market on Sundays, the 57th Fest, the annual Christmas tree lighting on the green, the car shows, the scarecrow contest, the Memorial Day parade, the annual carnival, the list goes on. Each event is significant in some way, and they demonstrate not only how tight-knit of a community we have, but what we value as a town. New traditions are being formed each year as well.
My favorite being the Colchester is Kind group that leaves little messages on rocks and other things around town. Things like that make Colchester unique. Recently, I've watched our town unify even further through this pandemic. We have bound together and faced this hardship as one community. It was touching to see these simple hearts cut out of paper on doors, painted on rocks, or drawn in chalk in driveways. When I ran on the airline trail, I smiled at each passerby and almost always got a smile or friendly greeting in return. When teachers drove around in car parades shaking signs, it was hilarious and heartwarming because it showed me how much our staff actually care about us and miss us when we aren't together. Our school system put in hours of additional work to find solutions during times when it would have been so much easier just to give up. And not to mention the brave teachers, nurses, janitors, grocery store workers, and other essential employees that selflessly kept our community running amidst scary times. If this frustrating year has taught me anything, it's how resilient our community can be and exactly what not to take for granted as things return to normal. So I guess that when I say I want to leave Colchester, I forget how appreciative I am for the fact that our sense of community is unparalleled. How lucky I am to feel like I'm a part of long-lasting traditions, and that there are people that have my back, even if they may not know my name. There are definitely still areas for improvement, including our town and schools reckoning with racial equity and inclusion, even today as we mark this important holiday of Juneteenth. And I still feel as though I belong to a strong, caring, and most importantly, unified community. Even if I venture off to other parts of the country, where I won't have to drive as far to eat moans, I will forever hold Colchester in my heart as my tribe and home. Thank you.
Congratulations, Bacon Academy Class of 2021. As you sit here today, together for the first time all year, take a moment to reflect on the lessons you're walking away with. The pandemic has given you a crash course in self-discipline, time management, and a value for your time together with others. Life is about to pick up speed, and you're going to have to make a lot of choices. Remember, some risks are worth taking, so trust your gut. The Bacon family is always rooting for you. Be well, keep in touch, and congratulations.
It's been said there are 4 things you can't get back. The stone after it's thrown, the word after it's said, the occasion after it's missed, and time after it's gone. Use your stones to build a solid foundation. Use your words to show kindness and love. Take advantage of every occasion. Relish the time you have from this moment until your last. Wishing the class of 2021 the best that life has to offer.
I wanted to wish you good luck as you prepare to graduate and move on to the next stage of your life. But a very dear and wise colleague of mine always reminded me that it's not about luck, it's about preparation. So I won't wish you good luck. Instead, I will tell you to be prepared. Be prepared to work hard. Be prepared to accept the challenges that life throws at you. Be prepared to take a risk. Be prepared to fail sometimes. Be prepared to pick yourself back up. Be prepared to appreciate the little things. Be prepared to not always know what will happen next. Don't walk out of here hoping you'll have good luck in achieving your goals. You're about to become a Bacon grad, so go ham and prepare yourself to go get your future.
Congratulations on earning your Bacon Academy graduation mask. Yes, you have attained a lifetime achievement with a mask on. That's kind of crazy. Masks are worn well by CPAP sleepers, Italian Renaissance theater characters, hockey goalies, and superheroes. They're used for a purpose, in goodwill, with expressiveness, and for safety. But for you, It's for celebration. Be proud of your graduation mask. You earned it.
Congratulations on your graduation from high school. Another step in life's journey. The adventure has only just begun. Go off and explore what the world has to offer you. But as you do, remember to tread gently on the one place we all call home. Take only pictures. Leave only footprints.
There are almost 8 billion people on this planet. Although we are all unique individuals, you need to set yourself apart. What will your legacy be? How will you make a difference in other people's lives? Look around you. Remember that in this moment, you are taking your first steps into adulthood, your first steps into the real world. Continue to challenge yourself, fail, reflect, and channel your energies to make this world a better place. You are needed now more than ever. It has been a pleasure being your class advisor, and I wish you all the best. Best wishes, much love, Mal.
As John Lewis said, get in good trouble. He said, never be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble. Now, I'm not telling you to go break laws, but I am telling you to stand up for what you believe in, fight for justice, and work on changing this society for the better. Realize that you have the power to make positive change. There will always be people who tell you to step down, that you care too much, who tell you that it's always been this way and that you can't possibly change it. But you can. So get involved with life and make a difference. We each get one life, let's use it for good. This world needs some fixing. From taking care of the environment to dismantling systemic racism, we have lots to do, and you are the people who can do that. Congratulations, class of 2021. Let's go change the world for the better.
Hi, class of 2021. This is Mrs. Furlong. I just wanted to wish you congratulations on this exciting time in your life, and I just want to let you know I wish you the very, very best. Take care.
Aloha, everyone. I'm not going to lie. Life after Bacon will be a challenge, and I hope over the last 4 years you have come to appreciate the value of learning. Never think that you have become an expert at anything. View your life as a learning experience. To quote Michelle Obama, not everyone will agree with you either, and that's okay. If you're a Democrat, spend some time talking to a Republican. And if you're a Republican, have a chat with a Democrat. Learn from each other. Maybe you'll find some common ground, maybe you won't. But if you honestly engage with an open mind and an open heart, I guarantee you'll learn something. And goodness knows we need more of that, because we know what happens when we only talk to people who think like we do. We just get more stuck in our ways, more divided, and it gets harder to come together for a common purpose. I ask you to continue your learning. You're not going to get very far in life based on what you already know. Today is just the beginning. It's where you go from here that matters. And as Jeff Bezos said, work hard, have fun, and make history.
To the class of 2021, Smeagol here. Today is a beautiful day. It is full of hope and joy and delight. You've persevered and shown us what it is to adapt, to strive, and to carry on. You've shown us what it is to be strong when we felt weak, to be brave when we felt afraid, to be full of hope when we felt apprehensive, to be the light when everything looked dark. In the immortal words of John Lennon, we all shine on, like the moon and the stars in the sun. Class of 2021, stay strong, brave, full of hope, and be the light that shines on.
The wind blew the papers over. The class of 2021 would like to express our gratitude to everyone who has made this day possible. A special thank you goes to Mrs. Bloomberger, Mrs. McKiernan, Mrs. Shea, and all of the administrators who worked tirelessly to put this event together. We would also like to thank our class advisor, Mr. Mao, for his continued support over the past few years. Under your leadership, we were able to have an amazing prom, several fundraisers, and countless logistics taken care of despite the implications posed by COVID-19. We cannot express our appreciation for everything you have done to make our high school experience unforgettable. We would also like to take this opportunity to recognize all the parents, teachers, coaches, and families that have led each of us to this point. None of us would have been able to get here without your constant guidance and support throughout all of these years. You've inspired the next generation of lawyers, doctors, nurses, politicians, police officers, innovators, and leaders. Thank you for all that you have done for us. And to the class of 2021, I cannot wait to see what each of your futures hold. It's been a pleasure to work with all of you, and I wish you all the best of luck from this day on. As a departing class gift, the class of 2021 has donated plants and flowers to Bacon Academy's courtyard, which has been landscaped by volunteers from our class. The remaining money in our fundraising account will be donated to the First Day Committee to ensure next year's students will have an amazing first day of school to continue the tradition of First Day the Bacon Way. The class of 2021 would like to acknowledge the Bacon Academy class of 1971, which this year marks their 50th anniversary of their graduation. Congratulations to our wonderful staff members who are retiring this year. Mr. Chris Jewell, who is not here today, but we celebrate and wish him a happy retirement. And Mrs. Nancy Van Zander, who would like to welcome up here to receive a small token of our appreciation.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to celebrate the class of 2021 and our achievements today. I would like to begin by expressing my tremendous appreciation for the amazing teachers, administrators, faculty, and parents who have devoted themselves to helping the students here in our journeys to success. Let's face it, this year was a weird one. I never would have thought that instead of imagining the audience in their underwear up here to calm my nerves, I'd be trying to figure out what each of you look like under the sunglasses and masks. This year was full of surprises. Google Meetings, masks, canceled events, having to remember what day of the week it is, having Mrs. Sear on the one day I moved a desk over be the same day she tried to give me a cookie for sitting in my assigned lunch seat. Our struggle against senioritis was almost as great as our resilience during these infamous, unprecedented times. I think it's safe to say no one will be sad to say goodbye to that phrase and return to precedented times. But what is considered normal anymore? When we walked in the doors of Bacon Academy 4 years ago, who could have expected to end up in a year we'll never forget? I bet many family members in this audience had never had a workday out of the office prior to 2020, and now they may never go back full time. Worst of all, snow days are probably a thing of the past. And who knows if shaking hands will ever make a full recovery, or if we'll always be greeting each other with elbow bumps. Yes, life is unpredictable. People would have you believe that if you work hard and plan every little detail, everything will end up perfectly. If that were true, how would we end up here? Obviously, life doesn't follow our plans. It has a mind of its own. Now, I'm not trying to downplay the importance of preparation, as Jewel likes to say, in our lives, but instead ask you to consider adaptability as an equally important force driving your prosperity and happiness. We have been given this gift of learning this lesson so early on in our lives, and it can only help us to continue to evolve as adults. You've seen this time and time again in the corporate world. Take Blockbuster, for example. Maybe you can vaguely remember the building where you now get your morning lattes as it was a decade ago. A blue building with a giant ticket on its face and Blockbuster in giant yellow font. Blockbuster was the best video rental system that the world had ever seen, that is, until Netflix came along and changed the world by figuring out that streaming was better for the consumer. Or take a look at BlackBerry, a company that at its peak had 80 million customers worldwide and was even the device that Barack Obama chose as the first smartphone used by a U.S. president. I would like everyone in the audience to now hold up your BlackBerry. Oh, wait, that's right. Before Obama even had a chance to leave the White House, a mere 8 years later, BlackBerry had gone out of business simply because they failed to understand how a touchscreen and how important it was to their users. But Apple understood. Blockbuster and BlackBerry created the very best products they could within their fields and worked very hard to do so. But because of their inability, or perhaps refusal, to recognize the change happening around them, their demise was inevitable. Over the past 18 months, we were all forced, albeit kicking and probably screaming, to rapidly and dramatically change our routines and safety nets. The COVID-19 pandemic is the most disruptive event to occur in decades, completely reshaping our society and how it functions. Our generation was born into a world that was already fast-paced and ever-changing. But the dial was turned up quite a few notches when a transition of a new magnitude was thrust upon us during our coming of age. Today, we are not only receiving a high school diploma, but also an advanced degree in adapting to change. As a senior in high school, it is easy to feel like everyone around you expects you to have it all figured out. But as this past school year has shown, the next 4 years, 4 weeks, or even 4 days are bound to play out differently than we expect. And that's okay. It's okay to take a breath. It's okay to accept that you're not always going to be in control. Fortunately, we have each other. Because it's also okay, no, it's better to accept the support and guidance from those around you. Going into my junior year, I had every class that I was planning on taking for the next 24 months mapped out in a journal. Halfway through senior year, that journal, because of life events, metaphorically combusted. It took the support of more people in this audience than I could possibly mention by name to help me cope with and adapt to my new reality. And I'm sure the same applies to many of you. I would not be giving this speech right now if it weren't for the help of so many. And for that, I am eternally grateful. So, in all of your endeavors, present and future, I wish you the best. And I hope I've left you with an idea or two to ponder. Change is inevitable. How we respond to that change will make all the difference in the world. Thank you.
Good morning, class of 2021. And good morning, Colchester. What a great day it is to be in Colchester today. On behalf of the Colchester Board of Education, I bring you greetings and salutations. This is the day of celebration, your celebration. A day to celebrate your accomplishments of your years from elementary school to high school. It was a long learning journey. But here you are, even in a world-class pandemic. You made it. You showed your resiliency. If I can leave you with a few words of wisdom, continue learning. Learning doesn't have to take place in a formal setting like a classroom or workplace. Learning can be acquired in everyday experiences. I look out at the world and I see we are separated by language, race, culture. But if anything, learn the universal language of kindness, caring, respect. These are the actions we all know. Never forget to dream and the expectations you set for yourselves. I have no doubt that as you go through this rite of passage and enter the next phase of your lives, you will achieve and demonstrate to the world your uniqueness, your individuality, and collectively strive to work for a better world. I leave you with a poem that you may have heard many times before. It is a simple little poem that delivers a powerful message. The poem was written by Langston Hughes and published in 1923, almost 100 years ago. It still is great food for thought. The poem is Dreams by Langston Hughes. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field covered with snow. Class of 2021, congratulations.
Good morning and happy Juneteenth Day. I want to start off by saying that yes, we will have snow days next year. Make that official. Welcome Board of Education members, colleagues, distinguished guests, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2021. My name is Jeffrey Burt and I have the great honor and the privilege of being the superintendent of Colchester Public Schools. And it has been indeed an honor over the past 15 months to help the district navigate through one of the most challenging times in living history. I'm thankful that we have a dedicated board and an outstanding staff that rose to the challenge and met the needs of our students under very difficult circumstances. This is indeed an odd year. I want to just point out quickly that the fact that you're all sitting here wasn't guaranteed 5 months ago. As a matter of fact, we scheduled it on a Saturday morning because we didn't know what the heck was going to happen. 5 months ago, we were going to allow 2 people wearing masks about 80 feet apart. And then about 3 months ago, we started looking at Mohegan Sun to see if we could spread you out and maybe have 5 people in this graduation. And then about a month ago, we just said, what the heck, everybody come on by. That's essentially... the nature of this past year. If anything, the constant was change. I also want to say that I'm proud of all the families out here that did their very best to support their children to continue their education in a time when nothing was normal. and we lost so much, including family members. And finally, I'm proud of the students who had to switch from seeing their teachers and friends every day to spending most of their time telling people, hey, you're on mute. I would just like to take an opportunity to give everyone here a round of applause for everything that you've done for our students. Speaking of the pandemic, sometime this past winter, a friend of mine, who's not an educator, asked me how I was doing with managing the whole pandemic thing in the schools. I turned to him and said, I was lucky. I had so many pandemic management classes as part of my superintendent training. And he said, wow, that is lucky. So besides needing to find smarter friends who can recognize a joke, it struck me that no amount of education, no training, no preparation can really help you face all of the challenges that will come your way in either work, school, or in life. So what are some of those things that might help you work through these difficult times? So what I do is I turn to people much smarter than me for their advice. And I'm actually going to steal from my commencement speech 2 years ago, where I asked for advice from some kindergartners and their kindergarten teachers. I'm also going to add in some quotes from Barack Obama, Warren Buffett, Simon Sinek, LeBron James, and my 13-year-old daughter. And these are in no particular order, and I want you to guess who said what. There's a quiz later. Never give up on your hopes and dreams. Persevere, pursue your passions. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Invest in yourself and go to bed a little bit smarter each day. Always let people know what they mean to you. Don't be afraid to be different. Be you. Be active. Be the change in the world. Stop making excuses. Keep the main thing, and don't lose sight of what is important. Create your own measurement of success. Don't let others define you. Get some rest, but don't fall asleep in your college classes or work. Don't even shut one eye. That was Warren Buffett. Be loving. Make a positive impact. Do good for others. Doing good for others doesn't mean that you cannot do well in life. When choosing a career, do what you love and love what you do. Be remembered. And the world is much bigger than you can imagine. And don't give up. And finally, from my 13-year-old daughter, Phoebe, who said this to me on my very first day as superintendent, walking out the door, be awesome. And so I can tell you right now, class of 2021, you are awesome, and awesome things await you. Thank you. I certify that these members of the class of 2021 have met the graduation requirements approved by the Colchester Board of Education for a Bacon Academy diploma.
On behalf of the Colchester Board of Education, I accept these seniors whom you have certified to have met the requirements of graduation.
Maya C. Russell. Kevin Michael Agan Jr. Emmy Rosalind Albert. Velda M. Aldridge. Daniel Alexander. Angie Ambrosia. Naomi Amin. James Anderson. Rose Andrachin. Abby Auden. Julia Elizabeth Bear. Caitlin Bagdasarian. Blake Belargin. Blaine Belargin. Lucas Baldinger. Malik Ray Barnes. Christopher Barnhill. Riley Bassett. Caden Michael Bertrand. Elijah Ray Blanchard. Abigail Boislar. Chase Leanne Bonnet. Brooke Elise Bordeaux. Josh Braga. Sarah Burgandy. Abigail Burke. Jesse Burnham III. Owen Burton. Natalie Caballero Negron. Jaylene Ariana Calles. Mason Candler. Isabella Grace Carnelli. Sarah Chantrez. Jake Chapman. Jack Siago. Brandon Cicero. Jessica Ann Cintron. Evan Clark. Quinn Clark. Quinn Jade Clark. Rylan Stone Colborn Brant. Jason Thomas Consiglio. Adia DiGenata Cordova. Kyla Sky Craig. Tiana Janelle Marie Krosky.
Alexi Victoria Dean. Auden Garrett Riley Demers. Mava Desir. Kaylee Bryn Dickinson. Olivia Rose Donahue. Hannah Eileen Dornfried. Vic. John Francis Villaramo.
Where you going, Nick?
Zachary Fitzpatrick. Ian Fitzsimmons. Samantha Shea Gauthier. Samantha Gessiak. Terrence Jeanette. Claire Gillerland. Josh Gladding. Colton Paul Goulet. Dylan Graham. Tyler Jeffrey Graham. Sarah Grant. Jamie Nylea Green. Jack Bernard. Haley Greeny. Julia Bertoli. Jaden Patrick Guerra. Emma Hydash. Cassidy Hambrecht. Nathan Hebert. Josh Hilliker. Aaron Holt. Amber Haas. Logan Hubbard. Aviana Abraham. Alasia Malie Jimenez. Amy Jones. Eric Kananowicz. Brandon Kaufman. Justin Robert Kelsey. Sean Kiernan. Nathaniel Kowinski. Raven Coons. Noah Thomas Lamarine. Sam Lang. Jack LaRosa. Chloe Pearl Lawley. Kara Nicole Lawley. Paige Marie Lawrence.
Delaney Mackenzie Lima. Michaela Longo. Rose Susan Metziowski. Emma Mallon. Mallory Laurel Mancini. Catherine Marburger. Patrick J. Mahaney. Luke Joseph Maynard. Natalie Joy Maynard. Quentin Lance Meekins. Joshua Anthony Mello. Logan David Maselli. Jonathan Miskovich. Sydney Rose Michelonis. Noah Mickelson. Owen Brooks Moxfield. Caitlin Marie Moody. Madison Mott. Catherine Newdecker. Nicholas Tyler Nunez. Braden O'Brien. Nicholas Pajoli. Russell Taylor. Grace Claudia Palmer. Olivia Paoli. Matthew Caden Park. Wyatt Park. Cameron James Corolla. Tylynn Parsons. Lauren Alden Peak. Paul Perkins. Coral Perot. Michael Pimenta. Jillian Christine Pino. Tanaja Christine Piper. Jason Praisner. Sean Preston. Julian Alexander Prignano. Megan Purcell. Nicholas Patorti. Dylan Rakowski. Ethan Ratzer. Megan Reading. Aiden Reaver. Braden Rhodes. Alyssa Rubo. Ava Michaela Sanchez. Savannah Scarabamano. Caitlin Shea. Andrew Smith. Elena Ann Smith. Thomas Smith. Harrison Snow. Jack Spalding. Ty Sankina. Cody Steinmeier. Jordan Danielle Strong. Griffin Joseph Sullivan. Kira Swain. Sean Swanky. David Alexander Talbot. Emily Jordan Teller. Julia Terranova. Atar Thacker. Cameron Todd. Alyssa
Usella. Jared Underberg. Colton Vassar. Leslie Maria Vasquez Lopez. Sarah Velarde. Victoria Marie Violet. Brianna Lynn Waters. Xander Weddall. Rexford Standish Welch. Connor Wilcox. Josh Wakovic. Cody Alexander Woodcock. Paula Minez. Kiki Zen. Olivia Zuham. Class of 2021 Class Secretary, Mallory Elise Shirk. Class of 2021 Vice President Sophie Bell Stroll. And Class of 2021 President Helen James Paparella.
is my pleasure to present the class of 2021 salutatorian, Ashley May Clark. Presenting the class of 2021 valedictorian, Sarah Ann Rosenthal.
Woo-hoo!